Welcome back to the CNT podcast. I'm Justin Yelmark.
And I'm Tommy Terrio.
So let's get right on into this episode with card of the week that I will be presenting. It's a phenomenal card. So I'm going to tell you the backstory of it. I went to a local card store about a week before we're recording this, maybe two. And there wasn't a ton of singles that I liked. So what I did was I bought 2 packs of Optic and a little select box with a few other things. And so I opened the Mosaic. I said Optic. I got Mosaic. My bad. I pulled an auto in that, actually. That's not the card of the week. Pulled some pretty good stuff. Pulled a Jake Cronenworth rookie. I ended up trading it to Tommy. So then comes the select box. It's only 2 packs. Like I said, it was just that little small one. In the second pack, the last card was this gold Trevor Rogers disco rookie numbered to 10. You won't be able to see it, sadly, but it's a Trevor Rogers gold disco select out of 10.
Pretty cool.
Now, it is available. I'm listening to offers on it, but I'm most likely just going to hold on to it until the season starts with how the baseball card market has absolutely tanked right now.
Unfortunate, but yeah, you're right.
So I'll listen to offers, but if you pull up a comp from since the lockout, I won't do a deal because that might be what it's worth now. But I have high faith in Trevor Rogers, so I'm probably just gonna hold on to it.
There you go.
Now let's get into the actual episode. Tommy did overvalued players. I did undervalued. Let's hear your first one, Tommy.
Okay, so we're gonna start off with a former MLB The Show cover athlete, and that man, well, 6'7", I think he is. He's massive. Aaron Judge. The guy is the epitome of modern baseball. Go big or go home. He physically is the go big part, but literally he is going home. His strikeout rate is terrible.
You know what it is?
I'm not sure. I don't know it offhand. I can go get it for you while you're doing your next one. But he epitomizes he's either hitting a home run or striking out. That's just what he does. He's also injured way too much. If the Yankees want to see sustained postseason success like they've been known to have for 100 years, they need to have that consistent performance. I would like more contact, just more consistent performance out of him, not worth the millions and millions of dollars that he's been being paid.
Mm-hmm. See, I agree, but I disagree. I think he strikes out way too much, but I still think he's good. He's that good still, and that I wouldn't say he's overvalued. I wouldn't say he's undervalued at all.
He's a 30%
strikeouts, but I wouldn't say he's overvalued.
In his career, he's 30%. He's striking out 30% of his at-bats. That's horrendous.
Well, I was saving this one for my last one, but I'm going to make it my first one because he brought up strikeout percentage. Now, I'm not going to say who it is. I'm going to say he got injured early on. Let's see if Tommy can get him by his stats. Before he was injured, was batting .305 with a 770-40 OPS and .425 slugging with a 7.1 strikeout percentage.
This guy an outfielder?
He's an infielder.
Infielder. I don't know. Who is it, Justin?
He's not undervalued by his stats. His stats are amazing. It's Nick Madrigal. And now, I'm wearing the Cubs jersey. You're going to call biased? It is not biased. 7.1 strikeout percentage is top 5 in the whole league. And the White Sox traded him to the Cubs, along with a solid young relief pitcher who you could argue could make my list. He's not going to, but you could argue for Craig Kimbrough. It was a horrible trade. Not going to get into that again. But the White Sox traded someone who struck out under 8% of the time. He puts the ball in play, and that's what you want in someone. And the fact that he was traded makes him undervalued.
I mean, quite possibly. I don't know. I don't think he is, because there's so many of the Cub faithful like you that are just, tooting his horn every second they can and just
Here's the thing, though.
hyping up a guy that's been injured for injured for like the majority of the year.
That's fair.
I think
That's fair.
it's entirely possible that he blossoms into what everybody I talk to is saying he will.
I hope he does.
Who
And
knows?
again, I don't think he's undervalued because of his stats. The fact that the White Sox were so easily to give up on him with how good of his stats were before he got hot for an aging closer.
Who
It's
had
not
been
even
playing
a trade that
exceptionally.
would help him.
Hindsight is 2020, and it's easy to bash. I think it's easy to bash the White
No,
Sox in
this was
hindsight.
2021 stats before he got hot.
No, I'm talking about the other half of this trade. It's easy to bash the White Sox in hindsight and say, how could you give up Madrigal and Hero for Craig Kimbrough, who performed poorly for them? But that's not the point.
That is not the point.
The point of the trade is that like they got this guy who was doing exceptionally. It's unfortunate it didn't pan out, but he was doing fine for them.
Let's say Craig Kimbrough played like he did in Chicago with the Cubs than he did with the White Sox.
It would be worth
the White Sox still lose that trade. They traded a young a young relief pitcher who they're having Craig Kimbrough do the same thing. They traded a young middle relief pitcher for an old middle relief pitcher, along with a young second baseman who was the number one second base prospect at one point, who, before he got hot, had a less than 10 strikeout percentage, along with a 425 slugging and 305 batting average. Even if Craig Kimbrough played at his peak, that would still be a bad trade for the White Sox because Kimbrough's going to retire in 2 to 3 years. Madrigal and Horier can both go on to have 10 plus long, successful MLB careers. It was a bad trade no matter what. And the fact that they would even consider trading it, Madrigal, makes him undervalued.
I just think that Craig Kimbrough, if he had the higher performance, I think there's a higher probability that they beat the Astros, but that's just me.
Like there's always that what if, but
yeah,
the fact that if I'm gonna leave it at this. If a player has a 15% less strikeout percentage, like 15% or less strikeout ratio, he's untouchable in my eyes. That's the whole goal of baseball, is to not strike out, to put the ball in play. Because if you put it in play, it's going to be a hit or an error. You get base runners. Base runners go on to win games. If you have a guy who's striking out less than 15% of the time, you keep him no matter what. No, let me rephrase that. You do everything possible to keep him.
Yeah.
Like sometimes he'll leave in free agency, and you can't control that. But to trade someone like that, it will make them undervalued in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see him nearly as highly as you do, but I do understand the undervalued being willing to trade and seeing as undervalued. That makes sense.
Also, this is not coming out of my Cubs bias. Like I have not brought anything about him going to help the Cubs. For all we know, he's either going to take Nico's spot and Nico won't blossom, or Nico will blossom and he won't, or they will both blossom. But the White Sox gave up on him way too soon.
Couldn't you put one of them at short? You throw Nico at short if you can't actually get one of those.
I mean, that's what I think will happen. I don't think only one of them will blossom. It's just, I'm again just trying to point out it's a possibility. I'm not just saying this as a biased Cubs fan. But Tommy, you gotta go with your second one before I get carried away again.
All right, Cubs shortstop, shall we? Javier Baez. They're trying. Everybody is trying, saying, put him up there, put him with the Trey. No, not with the Trey Turners, not with those players of the world, not with the Carlos Correas. He doesn't belong there. His fielding, top notch. But his hitting, oh my goodness, his hitting. It's atrocious. I mean, there's always those home run highlights you see. He's a great power bat at short, but I want more offensive production. If I'm a general manager and want to pay him $300 million, I want to see more offensive production.
See, are you done? Because I actually kind of have a lot to say on this.
Sure, go.
I'm going to try and summarize it. I agree and I disagree at the same time. I agree that some people can overrate him. I disagree. A lot of people underrate him and put him outside the top 10 shortstops. He's in the bottom barrel. He's like 8, 9, or 10. He's he's in the top 10 still because of his defense. Also, he's the infield version of Joey Gallo, and I hate Joey Gallo. He is not good. He's a horrendous hitter. Javier Baez is a better hitter than Joey Gallo. Not power hitter, overall hitter. Also, Baez, yeah, he strikes out a lot. His strikeout percentage is probably up in the 30s, maybe even 40s. He has terrible plate discipline, terrible plate vision. Like, he's not a great hitter. I'm not trying to defend that. But he can be. He has showed potential in his time with the Cubs from when he came up until like 2018. It was all good. He has his moments. And at the end of his time with the Mets, he was hitting very well. I agree. 300 plus mil. I think that was an overpay. However, I think it could work out a lot. But as of right now, I agree he's a little overvalued. But give it 2 years, I think he could become undervalued.
He led the NL in total strikeouts and was fifth in the MLB in total strikeouts. He also had, I believe it was, what was it? It was he was the worst among any qualified hitter in terms of swing and miss rate at 40%.
I'm not trying to defend him saying he's a good hitter right now. He shows flashes, and if he can work on that, he could become it. He has the potential to do that, to be what he was.
Who do you got?
As of right now, I agree he's a little overvalued.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm saying he can come out of that. He can be like his 2017 self in his best year.
I doubt it, but that's just me. I don't know if he has it left.
The end of his 2021 with the Mets was pretty good.
Yeah, but that was a month of a Herculean performance. We've seen things like that happen before.
Yeah. So my next one. Oh, I'm about to get furious. I don't know when to start my clip because I'm gonna be talking for a long time, but my next undervalued player is Wilson Contreras. I don't care if you come at me with the Cubs bias. I do not. I have seen so many catcher rankings that have him outside the top 20. I have seen catcher rankings putting Henry Davis and Adley Rutschman, who have never played an MLB game, ahead of him. Wilson Contreras in 2021 had 21 home runs, 340 on-base percentage, 438 slugging, 993 fielding percentage. That is top 12 catcher, arguably top 10. I put him in the top 10. Catcher is a weak position, and Contreras is a good catcher. He is top 10. And I'm going to end the clip now. I've made my point. Wilson Contreras, top 10 catcher. If you put a catcher who has not played a game in the MLB in your top 10, in your top 30 catchers list, you shouldn't have an opinion in baseball. They are not a top 30 catcher. They're not in the MLB. They are not an MLB catcher yet. Adley Rutschman, when he gets to MLB, yeah, he'll probably be a top 12 right off the bat. It's a weak position, but he hasn't yet. He has not played a single game, a single pitch in the MLB. He's not a top 30 catcher because he's not an MLB catcher.
Yeah, I don't like it, and I think by default, just because of how weak it is, I mean, I guess he's undervalued by the fact that he does get like grandfathered in. I don't know. I think he's slightly underrated, I would say. I don't think he's as underrated as you're painting it out to be. I feel like there's still a large majority of the population that does respect him, but I feel like there are.
Sorry.
But I feel like there are stupid things, that being one of them, that does not make sense to me at all.
I've seen at least 5 catcher rankings that have him as a bottom 5 catcher. And like, you can say he's slightly underrated. No, he's extremely underrated at this point. In fantasy, he's on average the 20th catcher taken, when overall he should be in the top 15. Now, if your ranking has him bottom 5, you don't watch baseball. Bottom 20, you need to watch it more. Top 15, that's fine. I understand you don't watch a lot of Cubs team, probably. Cubs aren't an exciting team to watch right now. Top 10, you're doing it right. Top 5, again, you don't really watch baseball. You're a biased Cubs fan. He's not top 5 right now. He belongs in the 8 to 14 range in my eyes.
I would put him at 11 probably.
I think That's fair.
I don't have names off the
Yeah.
top of my head, but I would probably go somewhere around, the 8 to 14 range. 11 sounds about right for me.
But me seeing people like Adley Rutschman being in someone's top 7, nonetheless. Top 7.
You
And
can't
Contreras
qualify
not
a guy who
even.
hasn't played an MLB game.
And then in that ranking, I saw that ranking on TikTok. I commented very much. He had Contreras bottom 5 in that. It just blows my mind how people think that he, just because we lost everyone else, does not make him a bad player. He is top 10 at his position. I have him 9 or 10, a little bit more than Tommy. That part, my comes by his moves and pass a little bit, but still, he is not bottom 10. And Adley Rutschman is not better than him.
So I have 2 of all of these that I'm passionate about. All of mine that I'm passionate about. This is one of them. Let me introduce you to Blake Snell. This is absurd to me. He is amazing in the big games, but the Padres aren't getting him to these big games. For a team that has this much talent and are off-season champions for like 7 years in a row now at this point, it feels like. They're bringing in all these big names. Tatis is getting money. Snell is getting money.
Darvish is getting money.
Jake Arrieta was getting money.
Please tell me you have Yu Darvish on your list.
He's 11. We both did 10 players. He's number 11.
Oh, he just missed. He would have been on my list. He was great on the Cubs. He was so bad this year. And sorry, I'm very sorry. He's in top 85 ADP for fantasy this year, which makes no sense. Okay, continue.
Blake Snell's career and like his career trajectory seems to have been ruined by Kevin Cash.
Yeah.
Let me take you all back. I assume the large majority of those watching remember the 2020 World Series. It's Game 6. The Los Angeles Dodgers are leading the Tampa Bay Rays in the series 3-2, while the Rays are holding a meager 1-0 lead. It's the 6th inning. I don't remember what top or bottom. Someone can go find it out. I don't exactly remember. It's the 6th or 7th. He's played nearly a flawless game, and Kevin Cash meanders out and takes him out, despite a Cy Young caliber performance in Game 6 of the World Series. Ever since then, he gets traded even. I mean, the trade package, I can't remember off the top of my head just because it just frustrates me. I can look. They traded so much and then he's sucked. And it's just like, what are you going to do with it? It's just, oh my goodness.
Here's the thing. I saw a TikTok today, during school at some point. It might have been yesterday. Someone had them, it was the TikTok trend, hot takes 10, 20, 30% and so on. His 70% hot take was Blake Snell bounces back this year. And I didn't hate that take. He could bounce back, but as of right now, I 100% agree with you. And he's overvalued and overrated as of right now. And I like that.
By the way, the trade was Luis Patino, Cole Wilcox, Blake Hunt, and Francisco Mejia, all for just him. That seems like an overpay to get.
Was that year? It's kind of an underwhelming trade package, but how he was this year, absolutely an absolute steal for the Rays. Speaking of the Rays making trades, this is another one that I'm pretty passionate about. My passionate ones were the Wilson Contreras and the Joey Wendell. I just spoiled it. Joey Wendell. Oh my God. He is so good. He does everything. And you want to know, he even flew under my radar most of his career until last year. Fantasy draft, live video on Instagram. Not many people made it. We've grown a lot since then. I really wish I remember the guy's at. I do not. He was in the live the whole time. Oh, it was in round like 15. I said, who should I take? I kind of need an infielder. And he said, take Joey Wendell if he's available. He is underrated. He does it all. And I say, you know what? There's not many names I like right here. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to take Joey Wendell. Joey Wendell, that season, I got 5th place in fantasy. He was my 3rd best player. I had Tatis, Bryant, Nicholas Castellanos. He was never hurt. He stayed consistent all year. he was overall a top 3 player on my team. And in that year, he put up a 265 average, 11 home runs, 319 on base percentage, 422 slugging, and he is a top 10 third baseman. The Marlins got a great deal for him. He's going to help the Marlins compete in their division.
Yeah.
Also,
there's not a chance. There's not a chance in my mind that they win that division, but they can certainly compete.
Probably not. I do want to say I have been talking a lot about fantasy this episode. If you follow the Instagram, I make all the fantasy posts. I really enjoy fantasy. So I mean, I did my first mock draft the other day. Going to be making a post about it. It went great. We are doing a CNT fantasy league again. However, a lot of people left our last one, so we have to restart. So just hit us up if you want to be in it. We have 6 people right now. We want 8 or 10. So there's 2 or 4 spots. So come let us know if you want to join it.
Yeah, I mean, Justin said it all about the league. Yeah, we hope to get some of you guys in there. So I want to talk about my next guy. This one frustrates me. It's not something I'm nearly as passionate about, but it's a conversation that needs to be had, and that's Tommy Edmund. If you're going to be a middle infielder and one of arguably, I mean, with 2 of the best corner infielders darn near of all time, you're gonna have to be better. I mean, I was looking through articles earlier in the week. People were having him top 10, and he's just like, what are we doing here? He is not a top 10 second baseman. I don't see the logic in it. He's just not that good.
Who do you think is better, Tommy Edmund or Nick Madrigal? Because you don't like Tommy Edmund, as I'm hearing, you think he's overvalued, but you don't seem to be on Nick Madrigal's hype train.
I mean, Tommy Edmund's a better player currently, but Nick Madrigal has a higher ceiling.
Mm-hmm. I think Madrigal's in the 16 to 19 range for second baseman, more towards the 19 to 18. He was hurt a lot. I mean,
yeah.
I think by the end of the year, if he stays healthy, he'll be top 15.
I mean, hopefully he can stay healthy. That's just, you hope for that for everybody, whether it's a rival or anything else. You never wish injury on another team.
Never. Yeah, I agree. Tommy Edmund's kind of overrated. I don't like him.
I just think it's kind of odd, just because it's like putting him in the top 10, like just out of nowhere. I was just scrolling through, I was just chilling. I wasn't really doing much. It was just.
To be fair, second base is kind of a weak position. Like it's high heavy, and then it drops fast like catcher. Speaking of up high heavy on second baseman, Brandon Lowe. Oh my God, he's underrated. Since 2019, he's put up better numbers than Jose Altuve has. I saw an Instagram story about it today. He was already on my list. I didn't get the exact stats from Altuve to match it with it. I only have his this year's stats, which were 39 home runs, 247 average, 99 RBIs, 523 slugging, and people aren't putting him in the top 3 second baseman. He's better than Altuve. He's the best second baseman in the league, and he doesn't get top 3 recognition.
That came out of nowhere.
Who would you say is the best second baseman in the league, Tommy?
I mean, there's a couple guys I could give the nod to. Altuve still deserves credit.
Altuve deserves credit. I'm not trying to discredit him, but Brandon Lowe's been better the past 3 years.
I mean, let's see. Oh my goodness. Why can't I think of his name? Oh my.
Marcus Semien.
Yeah, I mean,
Brandon Lowe is the second best second baseman in the league. I blinked on Marcus Semien. He was better last year.
DJ
Brandon Lowe's
LeMahieu,
the second best.
Ozzy Albies.
Overrated. I'm sorry. He's good, but people overrate him a little bit.
What, Ozzy Albies?
6 or 7. Yeah, I see a lot of hype around him. He's slightly overrated. He's 6 or 7. I would say 7 matches him better.
Jeez. But yeah, Trey Turner played enough time at second base to qualify as a second baseman.
I consider him a shortstop. Before talking him at second, he probably makes it over Brandon Lowe, but I consider him a shortstop, and I have him at number 3 in shortstop.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to spoil something. We're going to be doing long rankings of positions. I'm very excited for it. You'll hear my reasoning on why Trey and Lowe are so low and high, in your opinion? Very excited for it. That's coming up.
Okay.
Very excited.
Money talks in this world, and especially in our sport. I mean, we understand that with the current labor negotiations going on. Money talks, and the man with the 7th highest annual salary certainly is talking, but it is not a good on-field performance. That man is Franciscolandor.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to start off with the Mets got a steal. Like, I feel like the Mets committed highway robbery to get Carlos Carrasco and Franciscolandor, even though they're overvalued, like by the organization, by a lot of fans. It's still impressive to get both of those guys. Franciscolandor is not what he once was and does not by any means deserve the money that he's making. I mean, he is not the hitter that he once was. He's having, I mean, to put both him and Baez on the same team when they're both shortstops, sure, one of them can adapt to second base, which generally was Javi. It's just not the combination that's going to work defensively. What, like, they both have to compromise double plays. For those who don't know, double plays are really weird when you're playing it. Comparing both short and second, they're very different.
I agree.
It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense, the money they threw at him.
Really doesn't. I agree. My next two, they're kind of obvious. They're starting to get recognition, but just not enough. Tyler O'Neill, best left fielder in the game, 34 home runs, 286 batting average, 80 RBIs, 560 slugging, phenomenal, best left fielder in the game. That, like, he's starting to get that recognition, but I would still say he's a little undervalued. That's really all there is to it.
He's a top left fielder.
Mm-hmm.
You're not throwing someone like Juan Soto or something like that in there.
Juan Soto's right field.
Okay, I've seen him play left field a decent amount. Okay.
I see everyone's ranking has Juan and Ronald Acuna in both in right field. So that's what I'm basing on. If Juan Soto is considered left field, then Tyler O'Neill is the second best left fielder. I consider Juan a right fielder.
Okay, I guess I've just seen one too many Nats games where he's playing left. That's just me though.
That's fair.
Okay. Now that I'm talking about Juan Soto, I'll stay with a Nationals teammate of his. An unfortunate story. Steven Strasberg. He had to get Tommy John surgery. He was the World Series MVP a couple years ago, but he got Tommy John surgery. He was hurt, and who knows what he's doing that. Like, who knows what we're going to expect out of him? And the money that he's being paid just certainly doesn't seem like it makes sense now. I think it was good at the time that they paid him the money that they did. But, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to the Nationals trading him. I think it might make sense for their organization to dump some of that cap and still get a good return while he's a above average pitcher. But he just doesn't seem to be worth the money that he's making with the injuries and just his performance since the World Series.
Remember in fantasy when you traded Chris Bryant for Steven Strasburg?
Yeah, I do.
You remember you dropped him like a week later?
Yeah, I don't regret that move, really. I mean, my third
I
base.
got just fine out of it.
My third base position was fine. I'm not too.
I'm
not
too
using
Bryant as a outfielder most of the time. Like,
yeah.
Bryant is a great fantasy player because he's a good player, but in fantasy he can play outfield, he can play utility, he can play first, and play third. You love versatility is huge in fantasy, and that's why Bryant, I can't stop drafting him in my mock drafts. On to my next player, because I seem to have I either talked about fantasy one too many times or a Cubs player one too many times. Which one was it?
But that's just it.
Which one?
No, keep going. You're good.
Did I talk about a Cubs player one too many times? Because I have one more Cubs player I'm going to talk about. Wade Miley. And
I like that pick. He was really good for me in fantasy.
You can agree with this one because you put him on your veterans who still deserve playing time list, which is 100%. Or did I put him on that? No, you put him.
Me. I was on that. I had him on my list.
You had him. And technically, he hasn't played a game with the Cubs yet, but he was phenomenal with the Reds. And again, kind of like Madrigal, he made my list because he got cut. He was put on waivers. He threw a no-hitter, 12-7 record, 3.37 ERA with 125 strikeouts. Those are not stats that you put on waivers.
Yeah. I don't understand it at all.
Hey, Cubs got him, though. I'm excited to see him pitch next year. I'm actually very excited for the Cubs rotation. We're going to have Stroman, Hendricks, Miley. Then I'm hoping Adbert Azula gets the first spot. And then Braylon Marquez comes up for a little bit and gets the 5th spot.
See,
I'm excited to see the Cubs rotation this year.
I'm not big on Stroman. He did not do well last year. He's not on my list, but I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. I follow him on Instagram now that he's working out like every day, even with a newborn child. I'm excited to see what he can do. I traded for a rookie of him already.
Nice.
I'm very excited for the Cubs season next year. I don't think they're gonna be great, but I think they're gonna be fun to watch. I'm excited to see what Clint Frazier can do with now finally getting the chance.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm taking over again. The Cubs, man. You get me talking about the Cubs, I don't stop.
I got one that our good friend Clam Chowder is not gonna like. I got Noah Syndergaard.
Oh, I got one because I have an Angels player on my list. I didn't want us to have the same one.
So that would have been actually really funny, and that would have been a good debate to be had.
That would have been hilarious. Mine is not Noah Syndergaard.
I think it's Noah Syndergaard because he was out for way longer than he should have been.
Yeah.
Way longer. He was out for a year and a half. Tommy John surgery recovery should take at most one calendar year, 12 months, 365 days. That's all it should take. And yet he was out for a year and a half. He came back and everybody was excited to see him come back. And yet he wasn't that good. Oh my god.
He wasn't bad though.
He wasn't bad, but he wasn't that great either.
I agree. No, I 100% agree with you. But he didn't pitch horrible when he came back.
So he was 0-1 with a 9 ERA in 2 games. He only pitched in 2 innings with 2 strikeouts and a 1.5 WHIP and a negative 0.1 WAR. It's an unfortunate stat line just because he just really didn't get the time to shine. But it's just he doesn't.
2 games.
What?
He only pitched in 2 games.
Yeah. Well, 2 innings.
2 innings. That's absurd. Keep going though.
He did not deserve to be one of the pitchers taken off the board before the lockout.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I thought he pitched more. With that stat, being out a year and a half and having that stat line, you do not pay him $21 million over 1 year too.
I feel like you shouldn't pay for what I don't know. I feel like you have to pay
for
what he could be,
and that is not what he is. Oh my god! I did not realize he was that bad.
I mean, obviously, the quote unquote ring rust is a real thing, and being out is going to take some time. And obviously, there's still an adjustment period, and he obviously is going to play better than that.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows how much better?
My next player, Rafael Iglesias, 7-5 record, 2.57 ERA, 34 saves, 105 strikeouts. He is a top 3 closer, and he's not treated like a top 5 closer. Undervalued. He gets credit, but not enough. That's all there really is to it. Some of mine just basically just need to be said, left out there, and continue.
So, okay. So my next 3 are not going to be popular ones, and they're all NL West players too. One's a Rocky.
Oh, Tommy throwing shade to Rock. Oh my! Do the Rocky one because I have a Rockies player I was going to do next.
Okay. This one hurts.
There's no way we have the same Rockies one.
Dreadfully hurts, but it's Trevor Story.
Okay, not who I had. I kind of agree with you. He did not have a good year.
He's amazing at Coors, but he has awful. I could scream it to the high heavens. Awful away splits. Like if you look at the home versus away splits, it hurts my brain thinking about how bad he is outside of Coors. Okay, some people have made the transition, right? If you look at Nato and LeMahieu both made the transition well. Others haven't. Others in the past haven't. And Story looks to be in the latter category. And I hope beyond hope that he can become one of the one of those greats that flourishes outside of Coors, but I just don't see it. And he's not like, I want him to be a $300 million guy. I want him to go get his bag outside of the Rockies because he's played so hard and earned it. But
don't talk too bad about the future Cubs third baseman. No, I don't actually. I say that as jokes. I don't think he's going to come to Chicago, nor do I really want him. And that's no hate to him, but I kind of want to see what an infield of Patrick Wisdom at third, Nico Horner at short, Nick Madrigal at second, and Frank Trindle at first can truly do.
It would be interesting to see what they can do on a day-to-day basis.
And maybe if you add in a Correa in there, if we actually get him, I don't think we will, but it sounds like it's down to the Astros.
Does
Cubs,
Nico have outfielder flexibility?
No, not really. I think we would have to move one of them to third and move Wisdom to the outfield or something. It'd be weird. I don't think we really need to sign Correa. But I'm not going to say
you're
no.
not one of the shortstop teams.
One more thing off topic. Carlos Correa, if you don't want him on your team because he cheated, you need to kind of grow up. Like, he's a generational talent. You just don't want to win if you don't want him. I'm sorry. I get that he cheated. It's time to not forget it, but to live with it and move past it, and not want your team to not sign a generational talent just because he cheated.
I also think nobody can truly atone for a sports scandal, but the fact that they responded, didn't cheat in 2019, 2020, or 2021, and made the World Series 2 out of those 3 years, and made the ALCS the other one.
Like, they're good. They would have won a championship without cheating. It's time to grow up and not want a generational talent. That is childish at this point. My next player, another obvious one, Kyle Tuttle. Super underrated. Still not on enough people's radars. 30 home runs, 92 RBIs, 557 slugging, 294 average. Not much to be said. Not much to be said.
Thank you.
Like, if he's still not on your radar at this point, you're not watching enough baseball games.
Put some respect on his name. He is playing amazingly.
Him and Yordle are going to be a great outfield duo for years to come.
That's going to be exciting to watch, I'll tell you. Oh, yeah. That's going to be exciting to watch.
And I don't think Kyle Tuttle was on the team when they cheated, right? Or was it that like his rookie year?
I think he was. No, it wasn't. As far as I'm aware, it wasn't.
There's an Astro you can like. Didn't cheat and is phenomenal. I actually really like Kyle Tuttle.
Let me look just to make sure.
I don't think he was.
No, he wasn't. His rookie year was 2018 for them. Yeah. He was part of the organization, I believe, but he wasn't.
Well, yeah, but who's your this should be your second to last, correct?
Correct. We got 2 Dodgers, team. We got 2 Dodgers. How about it?
2 Dodgers.
Okay. Pick A or B, Justin. It doesn't really matter, but pick A or B. Okay, great. So now I postponed my guy for the 3rd time.
Well, you told me to pick.
So, okay. Cody Bellinger.
I like it. He played bad. They should have set him down for a week to build up his confidence. I will preach that forever.
He is not the guy that I miss you. I don't know how many of you guys remember the Belly versus Yelly, the MVP race, the commercials they were doing. That was peak MVP races in recent years. Yeah, that was one of the best. I still think this year's NL was pretty darn good, despite the fact that none of them made the playoffs. It was a really good run.
It was a good race.
I'm so tired right now. Harper won it. Harper won it, correct? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why that escaped my mind. But Mookie, sorry, you just heard my other guy, but it doesn't really matter. Cody Bellinger has not done that well since he burst onto the scene and appeared to be like one of the best. 165 batting average across 95 games, 240 on base, 302 slugging for a 542 OPS. He only got 95 total bases.
He was bad, man. He was bad.
That's dreadful.
Yeah. That's really all there is to it. He could bounce back, but right now, this is just not good. My next
he only
guy.
had 10 home runs, by the way. That was another thing I wanted to point out. He only had 10
Yeah,
home
he
runs.
couldn't even walk off against the Cubs. That was upsetting. I watched that. I was in Illinois for that game. I watched it. I was also there for the combined no-hitter. That was like the day before that walk-off home run. Mark Canha is my next guy. Again, not much to say. Mets got a good outfielder in him. 17 home runs, 61 RBIs, 387 slugging, an OPS of +11. That's good. Like, that's top 25 outfield material. He's a solid guy to put in batting third to just get on for number 4 batter in New York for Pete Alonso to just hit a monster home run.
Yeah,
it was a great signing. He's underrated. It's simple as that. Not much to it.
All right. So hindsight is 2020, and I realized I forgot to get my clips. So for you guys watching now,
I wonder who his next. Overvalued player is.
For those of you guys watching on TikTok, my apologies for not getting the more passionate of my speeches, but I'm talking Mookie Betts here.
Mm-hmm. Also, I want to explain this to talk. The reason I said that is he spoiled it on the last one.
I accidentally spoiled it. I misspoke. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal.
It's
but Mookie
really
Betts
not.
has not been that guy that they expect him to be. He was an MVP caliber player for the Red Sox. Then injuries, poor performances. It just doesn't look like it's worth the millions and millions of dollars that they're paying him. It just doesn't appear that that's the case.
They gave up a lot to get him too.
They gave up so much to get him, and it's just they're not doing anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving him around, and he shows off like these cannon arms every now and again, but it just doesn't appear worth it. Like he just isn't playing.
He's not playing like Mookie Betts can play.
No, we know what Mookie Betts can play like, and that isn't what we're seeing on the Dodgers by any means.
Mm-hmm. So the last player on the list, I know you're watching this. Oh, they're just talking. Here's the last one. German Marquez, right? Have I said him already?
Herman
Marquez. I haven't said him, right?
No.
Okay, I went out of order in my list. I didn't plan to, but I ended up then. Herman Marquez, 12-11 record. Impressive that he could win 12 games on the Rockies. No offense, but
no, none taken.
Guys were not the best.
I think that us and the Cubs ended with like 1 or 2 games off of the same record.
Okay, you went a little too far. No, that's fair. We were really bad. We were doing, if we didn't lose that 11 games straight, we would not have traded the whole team.
No,
176 strikeouts. Don't get me started on the Cubs. I'm telling you, don't. 176 strikeouts.
The Rockies won 3 more games. That's it. That's how close it was.
Wow, we were really bad in the second half.
We both sucked.
Wow. 176 strikeouts, a 1.272 whip. Those are good numbers for being on the Rockies. Again, I mean, no offense to you, Tommy, but
yeah,
you guys have fallen off. So have the Cubs, but it's impressive that he could put up those numbers on the Rockies, which is why he's pretty undervalued. You put him on a team like the Dodgers, you would probably see a 18-5 record realistically.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most unfortunate thing about being a
Rockies fan.
Yeah, I mean, you're not getting the wins total.
Mm-hmm. But also, you can argue wins aren't pitcher stats. I mean, you're kind of right, but you're not. You're probably not going to see me for saying his wins and why he's undervalued.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Can I talk about Marquez for a minute though? Do you mind?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't give you a chance to respond.
He's a guy built to be a Rockies pitcher. He is built for the fastball, and I mean, you're not doing much breaking stuff. You got to have fast, your fastball, your cutter. I mean, sometimes it changes, but you don't want the curve. You don't want the slider. That's generally just not the pitches you throw at Coors. But just the fact that he's been able to accomplish that with some of the teams he's had behind, oh boy. The fact that he did it this year, I mean, hats off to him. The team was not good. I had him in fantasy, and he was he was my best pitcher. He's just, I mean, there's only two bright spots really for the Rockies, and one of them was Trevor Story, and the other is German Marquez. Blackman's a fan favorite, but he just, I mean, okay, Ryan McMahon is coming into his own.
No. Charlie Blackman was on my list of veterans in his playing time. He is still good. He is still a top 30 outfield. Do not tarnish his name. He is
not
still worthy of playing.
On any other
team. Not on Coors, that is fair, but he is still a good player.
On any other team, he would be on any of the 29 other teams. He deserves, he deserves to be a top 30, top 25 outfielder. But on no planet does he, he's just not built for Coors, unfortunately.
It might be time for him to become a DH.
It's not a bad idea.
So,
but, I love Charlie Blackman.
Yeah. Again, we're ending it here. If you want to join the fantasy league, hit us up. We'll go up to a maximum of 12 people, so you got to DM us fast if you want in. We're going to be making decisions. We're not going to be making any major decisions until everyone's in. We might do a dynasty league, have like a whole thing, have like a minor league. I kind of want to do that, but or just a regular league with a few people. So
yeah, we'll see what happens.
Get in here, you got to get in. You got to follow the TikTok. We're posting every day. We didn't do great this past week. That's kind of on me. It's kind of been finals week, so content's here and there right now, but it will get back to every day soon. Gotta follow the Instagram. Haven't missed anything on the Instagram. You guys being kind of mean to us. We were at 199. We got to 200. Went back to the 199. Went back to 200, and we're back at 199. Just get us over the 200 hump. That'd be nice. Tired of seeing that we got to 200 and then next day seeing 199 again. It's a little rude. Just follow and stay
Justin.
following.
Calm down. You got this.
It's annoying, bro. I don't like losing followers.
No, I understand.
That's all for this one. Thank you all for watching.
Yep, we appreciate it. Again, if there's any episode topics or anything else that you want to see us talk about, we'll do our best. I mean, you never know. We have a set couple of things that we specifically have in mind for upcoming episodes. We're pretty scheduled out, but we have a couple more weeks. So let us know if there's anything else that you guys really specifically want to see, and we'll try to make that happen for you guys.
One quick thing. There's only one more episode after this one before the 3-year anniversary. So on the 7th, there will be no episode. We're moving it to the 9th, which is the Wednesday. That is the exact 3-year anniversary. We got big things planned for that episode. I'm very excited for that one.
Yeah, and we'll talk and we'll be announcing some stuff, and we'll be showing you guys just part of the journey. I mean,
yeah.
We want to thank you all so much for watching. It means the world to us.
Thank you.